reading the response in its color. No medical services available. Of course not. They'd had their hands full, scraping the Alchemist up from the clerestory roof. "Inspector," the gendarme began. Gammon looked back to the Aigamuxa's twisted body, curled up on itself like a dead spider. Was it only her imagination that the breathing had slowed? She spat a curse in one of the Indine dialects she knew only well enough to keep up with her chicheras running mouths when she visited her mother's family. She finished in Amazonian, more for the gendarme's benefit. "The constabulary crank carts have stretchers on them. Get me 3 more men and a driver to take us north of the Commons. There's someone I know who lives nearby." Jane Ardai sat on the edge of an examination table, beside the trestle Gammon and her gendarmes had made for the broken Aigamuxa, her head cocked like a puzzled bird. She studied the creature, now fastened to a steam-driven bellows that pumped its lungs. It lay surrounded by hanging pouches of fluids pushing substances Gammon had little hope of pronouncing into its compromised system. Jane's insolent mouth turned into a crooked smile. She patted the space beside her hip and crooked a finger. "Heidi," she crooned, "what have I told you about bringing in strays?" "That I shouldn't. And yet you do always bring me the nicest things." Gammon looked at the space on the table beside Jane and slid herself into the space between her knees instead, pressing close to the physics apron. One eyebrow above Jane's perfect, coal-black eyes twitched. Her plump cheeks dimpled. "You were to join me for luncheon on Saturday," she murmured. Gammon leaned closer. "I'm so sorry. You wouldn't believe. I'll give you hell for it later. Shh." Jane's hush died away as her lips met Gammon's. For a long moment, there was only the hungry press of their mouths and the breath that passed between them. Finally, Jane pulled away. The physic's hair had fallen from its disorderly bun in locks that smelled of iodine and Lister soap. "Tell me all about this one," Jane murmured. "Nasrahil, chieftain of one of the Aiga tribes, squatting in the Eyrie. He tried to kill me, tried to kill most every human he came in contact with tonight." Jane jerked back, the ironic serifs written across her face blotted away. "He tried to kill you, and you brought him to me to fix?" "I'm going to need him." "To make a second go of his plans?" Gammon considered the creature on the table, tethered at death's door. "I need him because of what his plan was. There's more I need to know about it, and if I'm lucky—" She nodded toward the ragged bag of notepaper slouched beside the door. "I'll find something to convince him he needs to know more than he thought he did." Jane's nose wrinkled in distaste. "So I'm only keeping him alive, bringing him back to consciousness. I need him working, completely, just as he did before, or near to it." Jane's sour expression deepened, as if something more foul than usual wafted up from her lurid work. "His legs, where his eyes are." She stopped, sighing. "Heidi, this won't be fast, or easy, or cheap. I've always kept a little put away with you, just in case. This is much more than a little." It was Gammon's turn to look affronted. "I can find a way to pay." "And you will, love. But first, explain to me why I should want to take a monster that wants to twist your head from your shoulders and turn him from off to on." Gammon frowned. "Is Julian here?" "Out with a friend at the public down on Bleecker. Why?" "This is the sort of story that goes better over a drink. You might not have enough to make it go down well if we..."